Okay, we got a situation. We have a goat that is not feeling good, and Eleanor, our little one, she's about 7 or 8 months. Lauren found her today when she came home from work, and she was laying on her back with her legs up in the air like she couldn't move. Came out tonight and found out she couldn't actually stand up on her own. Talked to the vet, and she's fine with us, and she actually took some electrolyte, but we were looking under her eyelids and they're pretty pale, so we think she has a parasite. And we've noticed too, it's hard to tell because she's so fluffy for winter, but she's pretty bony, and so we're thinking it's a parasite. We're gonna take her temperature, and we're also gonna weigh her and see where we're at with that. We got some stuff that we're gonna try treating her with, some Power Punch, just to get her sort of some nutrients. We got her some goat B12. Gonna try the Safeguard Dewormer for goats. Gonna try these small syringes, see if we're gonna have to give all this stuff orally and see how it goes, and hopefully we can get her back in shape. 98.2. Let's say
10.6.
we have some friends coming over that are very knowledgeable with goats, and so we've checked her temperature a couple times, and we're hoping the thermometer's wrong, but it is showing us that she is about 98 degrees, and basically the goat's rumen, their digestion system won't work under about 101 degrees, and so we have her under a blanket with a heating pad, and so hopefully we can bring her temperature up. She's still around. She was standing up for me a second ago. Yeah, she's definitely not herself, so we'll see. Hopefully we can get her temperature up and see how that goes. So this is the next morning. She's acting a little bit better. Her friends came over last night and sort of talked us through some stuff to help her, and she's now standing up and eating, walking around a little bit. So far we gave her some B-Complex, and we injected that, gave her some yogurt. We're thinking maybe her rumen isn't working right, but she seems to be coming along, so we'll keep an eye on her. So our little girl is coming around. Took her to the vet, and she found out she did have some barber pole worms, which will kill a goat if you let them go and they get too many. She only had a few, so it wasn't too bad. We used Cydectin for the worms, so we just gave her 1 dose of that, and we gave 1 dose to her sister just to make sure. And our vet recommended, if we were giving this wormer to one of our girls in milk, that we need to not use that milk for 28 days. So that's something to remember if you're worming a chicken or a goat, that the eggs, the milk, you don't want to mess with any of those things as far as eating them or feeding them to something or somebody for about a month, usually for most wormers, unless you're using like a diatomaceous earth, in which case that's a natural thing. And although it does not work as good, it doesn't harm any of the stuff any of the food products that you're getting out of them.
It also includes if you're going to eat the goat.
Yeah, so make sure you give it about almost a month if you're worming a boar goat or any meat goat you're eating. So real quick, we'll show you guys how to do our way of doing a sub-Q or subcutaneous or in the skin injection. We're going to use some B-Complex. You can give B through orally, but it obviously does not take as good. We're just going to use these standard syringes. I believe these are 3 cc's, and we're going to do a 20 gauge needle because they're little, and these are smaller, and the B-Complex is not very thick. So if you have a thick compound, it's usually best to use an 18 gauge, just because it is quicker for them. And it's just like anything else. You'll draw down. We've been giving them about 1 milliliter of B-Complex, and we just give that right under the skin. And for us, we like to just go right in here, right around the neck area, and This time of year it's sort of hard because they're so fluffy. So like I said, just right here in the neck, you just got to find, with her, she's so thin from being sick, and she's tiny anyway. She's only about 10 pounds. So you just find a good piece of skin you can get in, and without poking yourself, you'll just take that skin, get in there, and put it in. That's it. It doesn't hurt them too bad. It's just like any other shot. Those of you who don't like shots probably wouldn't have it as easy. The other things, we have some Banamine, which we are going to give orally. And this is something to help reduce fevers, and it's a pain medicine. And I would say every goat we've had has at one point had to take Banamine if they were sick. And so for the orals, for these little goats, the best thing to do is just go in the side of their mouth, especially for the little ones where they really don't have much teeth action going on back here. And this doesn't taste good, so get it all the way back here and just put it back in the back of their throat like that. But she's not in a ton of pain right now or anything like that. She's just, we're trying to get her to come back from what she had. And then finally, this is an injection. This is an antibiotic, and this is Nuflor is what we're giving her. And this is just 1 cc. This is from the vet. And same thing, this is sub-Q.
This will burn a little bit.
Yeah, so this will burn.
She doesn't have much of a reaction, or she didn't the other day, probably because she didn't feel very well.
Yeah.
But we've had other kids that a vet has given this to, and they bleeded for a bit.
Yeah, so just try and be as quick as we can. And just rub it a little bit, and yeah, as you can see, she's not too bad about it. She's a sport. Oh no, this is, I guess, from what day was it?
Monday was when we found her.
So when
dying.
Lauren found her Monday afternoon or Monday evening, laying on her back, and so we're talking now. It's Saturday, so it's been not quite a week, and she's made almost a complete recovery. She wasn't getting enough nutrition, and in the winter with especially Nigerian dwarf goats, it's sometimes it's hard because you can see how fluffy they get, and so it's hard to tell how thin they are. And so she'd gotten pretty thin, and I think the reason she was having trouble getting up is she just didn't have enough muscle tone. And so thankfully we were able to catch it soon enough, and the doctor, the vet, did tell us that had we not caught it when we did and brought her in and treated her right away, she would have died. So thank goodness we got to keep Eleanor, and it's a happy ending to this story. She's hopefully going to be a good milker for us in the future, but thank goodness we did lose her, because as you can see, she's pretty stinking sweet. We're just upping her nutrition, upping her protein, upping her fats, and just sticking with it and paying extra attention. But if you don't ever have the opportunity to have a goat live in your house for a few days with you, it is quite an experience.
She joined us for Christmas.
And so they don't housebreak real easy, if you know what I mean. One thing I want to show you guys is a way to check for worms. So with the Nigerian dwarf goat, you're just going to push in on the top eyelid, pull down, and hopefully you can see right there, it is nice and pink. It's a nice salmon color of pink in that bottom eyelid. And that's what you want. When you start getting a lighter color in the eyelid down there, it starts, that's when you probably have an anemic goat, and that's when you got to watch out, and you want to get her treated right away for worms. If the color in their eye, we have a gauge here because she's got a white head, but if the color in the eye starts, if it's to the point where it's almost white, please get your goat to the vet immediately. That would be worth an emergency call, even if it's $50, $100, something like that, to get your vet out or to get the vet to see them in the case of a holiday or something like that. If your goat has a very white eyelid, inside eyelid, please get them wormed right away, because that is going to be fatal in that goat if it's not treated right away, and sometimes it may be too late. Please do not overly worm your goats. I think this is true with most animals. You never want to just worm them just to worm them, because what will happen is, in any human or any animal, if you keep giving a treatment to something when they don't have it, that parasite, in the case like barber pole worms or something, will get so strong and it won't actually be able to work on the goats anymore. Don't just worm them just to do it.
The worms will become resistant to any type of treatment. The other problem is when their eyelid is really white, if they're heavy wormed, and you treat them too heavily without speaking like to a vet or somebody, once all those worms release in the intestines, your goat can bleed out internally as well. So always speak with a vet or someone who's experienced with that to prevent anything like that from happening.
Yeah, and if you notice, we didn't even really worry about the worms too much because she had pink eyelids, and she actually had
no scours, normal.
No scours, which if you don't know, scours is what is referred to as diarrhea, what we refer to as diarrhea in goats. And so she didn't have that. She was peeing, pooping like normal, the typical goat pellets that you're used to. But it's just because she had just a little bit. But if you notice scours, if you notice blood in their stools, that's the kind of stuff you definitely want to talk to your vet about and get them seen right away. But we never want to lose one of these sweet girls. These ones are hard to part with and stuff. And even in the sense when you get into farm mode and you know that animals come and go, with something like a goat, especially one of these little ones, it's very hard to lose one of them. And even monetarily, it's hard to lose them because this is something that you're trying to become more self-sufficient with by either milk or meat or whatever. And so you don't she's falling asleep. You don't want to lose these girls. It's very hard. They're so sweet. With that, happy ending to the story.
Yay.
And Eleanor is okay, and she came through it okay. And we're gonna have her for hopefully many more years. So thanks for watching. Please tune in again. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and like the video. Please comment if you have any questions or if you have any of your own ideas. Thank you very much. See you next time. Say bye, Eleanor. Say bye.